Good afternoon, Year 4. Welcome to Reading for Pleasure with Mrs D. I've got my cup of tea ready in my sheep mug and I've brought along another housemate today. This is Baddington Bear. Yes, you did hear me right, Baddington. So he's listening to the story today and I will tell you more about Baddington in my next story. So let's read on with our Ivan story, and this is Hunger. In my new life as a human, I was well tended. I ate lettuce leaves with 1,000 Island dressing on, caramel apples, popcorn. My belly ballooned, like yours, Paddington. But hunger, like food, comes in many shapes and colours. At night, lying alone in my poo pyjamas, I felt hungry for the skilled touch of a grooming friend, for the cheerful grunts of a play fight, for the easy safety of my nearby troop foraging through the shadows. Remember what happened to Tag, I told myself. Don't think about the jungle. Still, sometimes I lay awake, wishing for the warmth of another just like me, asleep in a night nest of tender plant leaves. I liked having sips of soda poured into my mouth like a bubbling fountain, but every now and then I longed to search for a tender stalk of arrowroot, to feel the tease of a mango just out of reach. Still life. One day Helen came home with something large and flat, wrapped in brown paper. Look what I bought today, she said excitedly as she tore off the paper. A painting to go over the living room couch. Fruit in a bowl, Max said with a shrug. Big deal. This is fine art. She called it still life. And I think it's lovely, Helen explained. I dashed over to examine the painting, marvelling at the colours and shapes. See, said Mac's wife, Ivan likes it. Ivan likes to roll up poop and throw it at squirrels, Max said. I couldn't take my eyes off the apples and bananas and grapes in the picture. They looked so real, so inviting, so edible. I reached out to touch a grape and Helen slapped my hand. Bad boy, Ivan, don't touch. She jerked her thumb at Mac. Honey, go and get a hammer and a nail to put this picture up. While Mac and Helen were busy in the living room, I wandered into the kitchen. A cake covered in thick chocolate frosting sat on the counter. We like cake, don't we? I like cake. I love it, in fact. But it wasn't for eating I was thinking about. It was for painting. The frosting peaked and dipped like waves on a tiny pond. It looked rich and gooey, dark and smooth. It looked like mud. I scooped up a handful of frosting. I scooped up another. I headed to the refrigerator door. It was perfect, an empty, white, waiting canvas. The frosting wasn't easy to work with as jungle mud. It was stickier and, of course, more tempting to eat. But I kept it all. I scraped off every last bit of that frosting. I might have eaten a little bit of cake too. I don't remember what I was trying to paint. A banana, most likely. I suppose I knew I was going to get into trouble. But at that moment, I just didn't care. I wanted to make something, anything, the way I used to. I wanted to be an artist again. I soon learned that humans could screech even louder than monkeys. After that, I was never allowed in the kitchen again. I'm going to leave it there, Year 4, and I will see you in a few moments for my story on how Baddington and myself met. Goodbye for now, Year 4.